Good morning. All right, it is extraordinarily bright and cold. It's thankfully it's a dry cold, so I'm not choking on frozen breath. But it is very cold this morning. A lot colder than I thought. It's below freezing when I left the house. So, what am I going to talk about today? Well, on this bright, freezing cold morning, I want to talk to you about tactics of survival. And this is going to be mostly for younger people. But it also is going to be for anyone who happens to live in a larger metro area. If you are white, you got to be careful. Because not only is there a government and corporate sponsored war racially against us, ethnically against us in our own countries, but we also are losing numerical strength, numerical courage. And the invaders are gaining numerical courage. Now, I don't know if you guys have read about this or not, but a 17-year-old white boy stood up for someone who was getting picked on by a large, let's say, feeding frenzy of diversity. And what happened? Well, he got kicked down to the ground and beaten and stomped to death. He's dead. 17-year-old white boy stood up for somebody getting bullied, and a whole ravenous, rabid pack of diversity dogs killed him. That's what happened. Now, you might ask yourself, well, why haven't I heard of this? There's a reason why you haven't fucking heard of it, isn't there? We all know why. It's because this is a hush crime. Oh, a bunch of privileged class killed a non-privileged class killed a privileged class. Oh, well, that's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Whites are on the way out. It's fine. Kick them. Treat them like criminals in the street. They don't deserve to have the law enforcement structures that their ancestors put together to defend them. No. Media's not going to protect them. Media's not going to care because the media is anti-white. The media is anti-American. It's anti-Christian. It's against the things that make us what we are. So it's not going to tell you anything. They might cover it, sure, but they're not going to harp on it. There's going to be an article here or there. Where is there going to be corporate or governmental outrage like the summer of fucking love, huh? Where's that coming? It's not coming. It's not happening. You know that. So this is my message to people. Just stay away. I mean, as funny as it is, Dilbert guy is kind of right. Like, I feel bad for you. A lot of white people now, they can't help it. They grew up in a town or a city or a suburb. They're outnumbered now. And they don't understand because their parents didn't understand. The white people around them don't understand. They don't have the go free method. They didn't grow up reading Jared Taylor. They didn't grow up understanding what's going on in South Africa. They don't have that knowledge, and so they don't impart that to their young white children. And so the white children think that their Anglo or Francophonic or Germanic values are going to extend to the non-white people around them, but they don't. They don't. They are not like us, and we are not like them. And when they have the numerical courage, the strength, and the wherewithal culturally to make war on us, they make war on us. I'm not saying with guns and tanks. I'm talking war. Actual existential war in our streets, in our schools, in our churches. We are being warred upon racially. And the cunts in charge know that. So white people, you have to get away. You have to be smart. I know not everybody can afford to send their kids to private school or just pick up anchor and move to a different place. I know that. We are not going to be able to white flight away from this forever. We have to stand and fight. But you have to fight intelligently. When I say you have to move or get away from them, I don't just mean every white person needs to just pick up stakes and go to the middle of nowhere. That's not what I'm saying. You have to be intelligent. You have to teach your children to be intelligent, especially you young people that might be considering having children now or do have young children now. You have to raise them to win this war, or we don't have a future. And they can't win this war if you don't teach them reality about numbers, about strength, about a numerical difference, about the anti-white narrative that they're being spun from the media. Like, I'm glad that we're having some success in the political field, in the corporate field. We're having marginal successes here and there. But we need more than that. We need victory. And victory is not going to come decades and decades at a time making little scratches against this. No, we don't have that kind of time. We are going to be numerically conquered in 1 or 2 generations if things don't change. And then there's no coming back from that. So, listening to this right now, you need to make wise decisions about who you associate with, whom you allow your children to associate with, where you allow your children to go in the city or in the town. Go with them. If you want them to have their privacy, walk back from them. But you make sure that you keep them away from these roaming, aggressive bands of diversity. It's just not going to work. It's not safe for your children. And you need to teach them, oh, hey, you see that big gaggle of non-whites over there? That is like running into a bear in the woods. And your kids, with their white genetics, they're going to know that. They're going to know what a bear in the woods is. They're going to know what a wolf in the woods means. They're going to feel that. And you tell them that's the urban version of a rattlesnake. That is the urban version of a growling bear. You avoid it carefully, wisely, and you can survive in this forest, in this jungle. You have to teach them that, because society won't. Society tells them to open their fucking legs for that pack of diversity. Yeah, go ahead, little white girl. Go get gang raped by these people who will stomp your skull in when they're done with you. Yeah, go ahead. That's what our kids are being taught. It's disgusting. Anyway, when I heard about that story, I just had to make a video about it. What we face is not pretty, but we are having some victories. We are, especially lexiconally. I hear anti-white now out of the mouths of all major content creators. All. Left, right, up, down, sideways, all of them. We're seeing anti-white narrative, and sometimes even anti-whiteism now, coming from official sources, here and there. So the lexicon game is going strong. Keep pushing. Keep pushing and act wisely. And do your best to educate every white person you can around you. Because it's not just societal decay we face, but an existential threat. That's what the anti-white narrative is. That's what white erasure is. It's not just your children having a bad future, worse than you had, or worse than your past. No. It's existential civilizationally. Because we already have a competency crisis. What happens when all the whites are gone? When we are such a vast minority, we can't possibly upkeep the complex civilization that our ancestors made. And this is why I think the Malthusian overlords that want to depopulate the planet, I think they know that. I think they're just as racially aware as us. And that's why they're trying to get rid of old Whitey. Because they know that when we're gone, the entire world falls to shit. And there'll be mass panic, mass conflict, mass starvation, and they'll get their massive depopulation they've been wanting for years. That's what I think. Anyway, I'll leave it off there. I hope that you will join Newsfist and I this Thursday night at 6 p.m. for our next proto episode. It's not an official episode yet, but we are finding our stride with Empire of Lies, and that'll be same time slot as my Discordant Dragons on Monday night. But it will be staying up on YouTube. And you can enjoy those. So join us Thursday night. And apart from that, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you in a few days. God bless.